Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight I ask you one question. It's actually a question you guys have been asking me a lot. Is the Massachusetts better than the Alabama, or is the Alabama better than the Massachusetts? The age-old dispute between sister ships will be settled today. So, before we get started, if you guys enjoy what I do, if you enjoy the content that I'm bringing out, punch that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It helps the channel out dramatically. You guys don't understand just how much it helps to get those videos pushed by YouTube because you guys punching that like button and subscribing. So thank you guys for everything. Now, I will say this. We need to have a discussion about the key differences between the two ships. Now, I just want to start out by saying what some people may not already know, even if you do know, and that is that they are sister ships, right? They're both South Dakota class battleships. So, in all reality, they're basically identical, okay? So, the key differences that these two ships have are going to be very minuscule, but support very different playstyles. On the Alabama's case, you have the ultimate sniper. It is extremely accurate, very, very well when it comes to the ships, right? Like, you don't get much better accuracy out of a battleship than the Alabama. It's got insane accuracy most of the time. And it supports the best build for the Alabama is the accuracy build, a full accuracy build. Now, with that, you get a couple of perks. First of all, you're running William Sims. And even with William Sims on that ship, you actually are at a disadvantage in a hit points battle for two reasons. One, Massachusetts actually gets 200 more hit points. Instead of 66,100, it's 66,300. And that's with the help of William Sims' base trait, which gives you extra HP on the Alabama. So, the Massachusetts gets the lead, and also, can we just shout out to the New Jersey who just decides to go full broadside to two Massachusetts? Yeah, there's a Massachusetts next to me, and there's this Massachusetts that I'm in, and he decided to go broadside to both of us. Shocker that that didn't end better than it did. Fortunately, the game did not save him from making that huge mistake, and hopefully he will learn from it going forward, but let's be honest, probably not. Anyway, back to the discussion. So, Alabama doesn't have as many hit points. Also, Massachusetts' best build, in my opinion, and this is purely based on what the ship is good at and what I tend to play it with, and that is a William Sims full secondary build, okay? Now, I will caveat my full secondary build with the fact that also Seaton saw what the New Jersey did and said, I can do it better, and his turtleback at least saves him. He wasn't fully over-angled to me, but we still slapped him. But anyway, the Massachusetts should be run with a secondary build. Now, because it is a SODEC, there's nothing stopping you from running an accuracy build, and it will absolutely reward you for it with very, very good accuracy. But I don't think that's the best way to use the Massachusetts. Massachusetts is a brawler through and through, and running with Willis Lee gives you 2 extra heals if you have them fully upgraded to level 16. Because of the Master Mechanic perk. Now here we're paying attention to the Le Foudre and the fact that the Kansas and the Zeton and everybody's here. So watch what I do. I'm paying attention, I'm angling well because I don't want to take those huge hits, but I'm also moving into position to potentially get the secondaries rolling. Remember, we have very good secondaries. We got 11 kilometers of range on these things, so we're going to be able to put ourselves in a position to ideally get both sets of secondaries, the secondaries on the left firing and the secondaries on the right firing. Now, I'm not going to lie, I get absolutely screwed. I was looking for a better word, but I legitimately get screwed in this lobby for fire chance on the secondaries. Normally, this thing sets a lot of fires, and it will eventually start to make up for the RNG, but it takes forever to start getting the fires rolling in this particular battle, which is absurd when I'm firing at 2 separate ships at the same time. You would think that it would be better. Now, this Le Foudre, I'm not going to lie, every time I shoot at him, it looks like he's doing one thing, and then he does another, and then I end up missing quite a few shots on this Le Foudre. So you'll see me in a moment. Because I know the secondaries are going to ruin this Le Foudre, I'm actually going to stop shooting at him and just focus down the other guys, and just let my secondaries do what they're going to do. And Lafudra actually decides he wants to shoot AG at me, which is ideal for me because, again, Brawler build, I have reduction of fire chance, I have reduction of fires, and on top of that, I get extra heals, and my damage control will come back a little bit quicker, right? Not a lot quicker, but a little bit quicker. So, a lot of goods. What is the other big caveat to the Massachusetts that the Alabama doesn't enjoy, other than a little bit more hit points and the fact that you tend to run a secondary build? Why do you run a secondary build? Well, because the Massachusetts has a base secondary range of 7.5 kilometers. And the American secondaries, while they don't penetrate a lot because they're only 5-inch guns, they're 127mm guns, what they do is they fire decently quickly. They're not the fastest firing guns in the world. They don't have the highest fire chance in the world, but they're extremely accurate, as you'd expect out of American guns. The 5-inch 38, which is on pretty much every American ship of World War II, and I'm not joking, I'm pretty confident almost every single ship during World War II had a 5-inch 38 somewhere, or usually multiple 5-inch 38s, because it was a fantastic dual-purpose secondary that was capable of shooting down planes as well as putting a surface-to-surface engagement when needed. But anyway, back to the caveats. Brawling is what the Massachusetts is best at. You will lose some of your accuracy by going a full Brawler build. Now, I elect to use the not gyrating build, but it's Artillery Plotting Room as the final perk instead of extra secondary support, because, and I actually run the Epic mod so that I get increased accuracy as the match goes on. The more damage I do, the more accuracy I get, and that comes in real freaking handy. Now here, that Kansas on my left, I'm not gonna lie, he caught me off guard, but again, Lafudra shoots HE at me. I'm going to go ahead and turn. I'm praying to God he doesn't have another reload booster ready, because if he switches to AP right now, he could absolutely murder me. Kansas goes down after we've done our job of making sure that he burns and continues to take damage by us shooting his superstructure. And we have a naked Kansas full broadside, and look at the accuracy out of this sunshine. This is why I go Artillery Plotting Room. Especially the Epic Artillery Plotting Room, which gives me a little bit more accuracy throughout the match as I get more damage. But you'll notice that I'm still in secondary range. This guy is close enough to be getting shot from the secondaries. We're trying to stay angled. Again, we bait people into shooting the belt on our battleships because it allows you to easily angle and get away from most of the damage that they're going to shoot. Now, I am very aware of the fact that there's still a Yugomo over here somewhere. So I got to be very careful. We're going to go ahead and hit the heal. And I'm just changing what I do based on the Lafudra who's still shooting at me, and the fact that there's a Kansas here, and I know that the destroyer's here somewhere, and I have no idea where at. So fortunately, the destroyer is actually going to give his location away a little bit here by torping at me. And because I keep changing course on him, his torps are way off, which is fortunate in all the ways. But anyway, back to the discussion at hand as I completely swing and miss on the Lafudra. That is unfortunate.
Torpedoes to the left.
But the Alabama, Massachusetts, extremely similar. You can play the Massachusetts like an Alabama. You can put an accuracy build on it and play it as an Alabama. So in that sense, I would argue that you probably don't need an Alabama in 2024. Anything the Alabama can do, the Massachusetts can do, and the Massachusetts has the versatility to run that secondary build, which I prefer because it gives me the extra heal, gives me the extra survivabilities, allows me the secondaries to continuously get damage over time. You don't have a lot of issues playing the ship. Now, the one downside that I would say we've talked about many a times playing Brawler battleships in World of Warships Legends is simple. The one downside is that getting in range to use your secondaries effectively without putting yourself in too much danger is difficult in World of Warships Legends. It really is. Because the maps are so small, or the spawns are so close, I should say. It's not the maps that are necessarily so small. It's just the spawns are so much closer than they are on PC on most of the maps. And the spotting range is ridiculous. But once you wiggle your way in and get within secondary range, especially if you can do what we did in this match, where you can get the secondaries firing off both sides of the ships. You still have fantastic main guns. You have the survivability to absolutely meme on the enemy ships, which is hilarious. And I find the Massachusetts to be more usable more often than even Alabama. Alabama will always have the puncher's chance. Now, I got to give a shout out to the Peter Bag that's off to my left here. He does exactly what the right thing is. First of all, he radared the guy when needed intelligence data. Yeah, he wasn't in range initially, but he got in range. And secondly, he pushes out and traps this Yugamo. The Yugamo knew he was screwed here. He didn't have a choice. He's got a radar cruiser pushing out to him, and he's got me pushing out this way. Because we go at different angles, we didn't go straight at the destroyer, right? Like, I'm cutting off his escape route to this right side, and the Peter Bag is cutting off his escape route to get away from me. So because we did that and we worked together, you managed to pinch the destroyer. Most people do not do that. Most people in that Peter Bag's chance would have just drove straight at the destroyer's last known location and never thought to pin him to the edge of the map. The Yugamo had nowhere to go. And then you have the two of us working together to finish him off. Now, anyway, finally to wrap up the discussion between the Massachusetts and the Alabama. Alabama, fantastic ship. Massachusetts, fantastic ship. Very different play styles. But you could arguably play the Alabama's playstyle on the Massachusetts and be just as successful as the Alabama. So in that sense, I would say that the Alabama has been power crept and is not the best choice for your 750,000 global XP. In that sense, I would say that the Massachusetts would be the better choice, because you could play the accuracy build or the secondary build. It supports both play styles. You're not going to notice a huge difference between the Alabama's accuracy build and a Massachusetts accuracy build. There's not much of a difference there. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. Are you guys enjoying these little head-to-head comparisons? The questions that you guys are asking, I'm reading them. I'm answering them. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.